Yay! I'm dramatic. Hello, people. Welcome back to another episode on my YouTube channel. You people that you've been asking me for F2 visa, bring somebody that will come and talk about F2 visa. You always talk about F1 visa. So today I brought a friend of mine to come and talk about F2 visa for people that, that want to come with their spouse or that want to come with their partner. So that's what we'll be talking about in today's video. If you like this video, do not forget to give my video a thumbs up. Do not forget to comment down below. Do not forget to do the most important thing, which is sub to describe. Anyway, yeah, without any further ado, let us jump right into the video. I'm dramatic. Okay, so yeah, welcome back again. Yeah, well, I said I brought my friend, and I feel like I've been the one doing the talking, so I'm just going to give him the floor to introduce himself. So please, will you introduce yourself? Tell us the program you are doing here in Miami.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Patrick. I newly got into Miami University for a graduate study program, specifically Master in Geontological Studies for the fall 2022 session. So I think it is my first time, and I can tell you I'm here with my wife.
So you heard that he's here with his wife. So how did he come with his wife? That is what we'll be discussing in today's video, because I know some of you have your spouse, some of you even have your children that you are thinking of, I want to come with my children and I don't know the process for them. It's the same visa for children and spouse, right?
Yeah, the same F2 category. So
okay, so first of all, we would like to kind of define F2, because I know some people will come and be asking me, what do you mean, what is the F2? So can you just give us a brief explanation of what F2 visa is?
Well, actually F2 visa is more just like F1, but the fact that F2 visa is a dependent visa on F1. I know that F1 is strictly for students, while F2 is for their dependent. It could be their wife, their children, who is 21 of age and less. Okay. So you can't be above 21 and apply for F2. So for F2 visa, the difference is that you practically submit the same requirements, just like F1. You don't have your I-20, your JS-160, your visa appointment, and whatsoever. But each has peculiarity. For example, just my wife now, we had to come with supporting documents to support our claim, and which that's our marriage certificate. If you are coming with your child who happens to be your F2, you have to bring up with your birth certificate to prove that particular child is yours. And also, most important thing is for you to have financial documents to show that, okay, you're going to support yourself. Your spouse is going to support yourself when you get to the US. And one thing about F2 is that you can't work. You're not eligible to work in the US. So practically, you are depending on the F1. One of the reasons why people find it difficult to get F2 is that you must prove that, okay, fine, you can support yourself when you get to the US. So practically, you're going to drop all the documents you are dropping for your F1 applications, your I-20, everything. But for peculiarity, you're dropping your marriage certificate if you're bringing
So yeah, so thank you for that explanation. So when you were applying for the F2 visa, what were the things that you had to do? Did you when you paid for your visa, did you pay for your visa and your wife's visa as well?
Yeah, if you look at it, it's the same visa category, just the tagging F1, F2, the same amount of money you're going to pay. You're going to pay for yourself, pay for your spouse. So practically you're paying for 2 visa fee. Okay.
So when you also fill DS-160, right? Did your wife also have to fill DS-160?
Yes, because okay. She filled her own, but there are just few, options whereby the question might not be the same. Okay. Yeah.
So when she was inputting it, she said she was F2, then you said you were F1.
Yes. So they will ask who is she or he depending on. Just my wife, they ask who is she depending on. Okay. So she has to put husband. My name here, okay. And the same school that they're going.
Okay. So So when you were looking for interview, you did your interview together, right?
Yes.
So who looked for the interview day? Was it you or was it the wife?
Well, in regarding visa applications, there are options whereby either two of you go for the interview together. That must have been stated during when you are filling your DS 160. So because at that point in time, you just got married, and we felt like there's no point why one should stay back. So we actually went to the interview together. But I booked the appointment on my own. I just what is it called, linked our profile to mine. So it's just going to be one interview appointment you're going to have, but you must link the two together in your CGI profile.
Okay, so that makes sense. So if you know you want to go for the interview together, you have to link the profile together so you get to go for the interview at the same time. So when you were preparing for the interview, I know that like for students F1 visa now, they used to like give I-20.
Yeah.
So for your wife, did your wife get I-20, or like your wife profile was linked with your own I-20?
Actually, before you get paid for the what's it called, the DS 160, you must have had the school to provide you with I-20 for F2 for your spouse. Even the school, some school might ask you that, are you coming with someone? So and it don't depend on you to say yes or no. If you say yes, they will ask you to present her, what's it called, for my wife, ask us to present her profile and document, a passport data page. And also, the school must know that, okay, fine, you are capable of supporting the dependent whoever you are bringing. So they ask us to provide a bank statement to prove that we have enough fund to sponsor her while she's in the US. So I think each school has their peculiarity, what amount you must have in your account. So for you to get your I-20.
Okay. So another thing, kind of like similar to what you said. So I know that for sometimes they sponsor F1 visa.
Yeah.
Do you think schools sponsor F2? Like, for instance, if they ask me, are you bringing someone, and I see someone is depending on me, do you think they would give me like scholarship for the person depending on me, or I'm the only one, like they just have only business with me?
Well, actually, it depends on how important or how value your school or your department place on you. But I think I've read or I've heard about some people negotiating such condition that they want to bring their wife, but I don't think it happens in all cases. I don't think it happens in all cases. It's not something you can it's not something you have the right. It depends, just few cases, except how maybe you have a good rapport with your supervisor and there is fund to cater for that. But I don't think it's something that is officially by you just go out there, apply. They want to cover the expenses of your spouse. So
because they're like, your spouse is not even doing anything for them.
Yeah,
like
so
you're the one doing something, so the spouse is not doing anything. So why should they spend that much money for? Yeah, I think I understand that. So I know we already said like she paid for visa fee. Did she also have to pay for service fee?
Nope.
Okay, because
No.
So you were the only one that paid for service fee.
Yes.
Okay. So so I think that's all the documents. So when you were going for the visa interview, what were the documents you went with? I know for you, like you went with your I-20, you both went with like the visa fee and everything. But what were like the extra document? Did she have to go with like her own document to also prove that maybe she has had a degree before or something like that, or like everything was just your own document?
Well, actually, it's like you having to. The documentation is just to prove that, to back up whatever you put in your DS 160. So in our own case, we practically went with all our documents. My document, her document, to back up the information we put in our DS 120, where we went with a certificate, a degree, former place of work, letter to show that, okay, because I think it's better to go with all documents just to back up every information you put in your DS 160.
Yeah, I know that when I said I went to the embassy with my primary school certificate, a lot of people were saying that I'm extra. Me, I would rather be safe than sorry, because you never can tell. Like, they might just ask you for one document. Like all the schools that gave me admission, I went the extra mile. I went to print all the email out, because if they say what is the proof that this school gave you admission, I had a proof and I'm like, yeah, they gave me admission. This is the letter of the admission and everything. So I'm just going to tell you whether it's F1 or whether it's F2 visa that you want to go to. So like, it doesn't hurt you to go with all your documents. It's just paper. It doesn't hurt you. Like, it's better to just be safe than sorry than like just going to the embassy and they're asking you for your document, and imagine they are not giving you the visa because you are not with that document. Like, you would forever hate yourself for that. So just go with all your documents. Basically, NYSC certificate, I went to them. Even the NIN certificate, that is not my business. My mom was like, leave this. I said, mommy, let me just go with everything. No, it's better to be safe than sorry. So
just to add one or few things, I think you've already said it all. Though there may not be required document they will ask for you, But what I know is that each case has its peculiarity. So you never can tell what they've seen in your profile and feel like, oh, let us question more about this. And you don't have it. It's just one time opportunity. So, but there's some important thing that you can't just joke with.
Yeah.
Your certificate, your letter, your I-20, your financial support document, and your passport. So and your marriage certificate if you're as a spouse, and the child birth certificate if you are coming with your child. So those are the major things. But except the extra, just to be extra careful, you can tell when they needed more information about your information you put in. So
I would even say that even for F1 visa, to be honest, I would say people should still go with their birth certificate, because like you never can tell. Maybe there's something in your profile and then they are like, okay, we want to confirm your birth date, and then they are like, okay, give me your birth certificate, and then you're like, I did not come with my birth certificate. Like, although I know some people that they will give you conditional visa. I know of somebody that it has happened to the person before, like they give the person conditional visa because the person didn't do something, and they say when the person brings the documents, that they will give the person the white paper. I think blue paper or thereabout. But at the same time, hey, you will just want to just kukuma go with the white paper and know that you've gotten it instead of like coming back and everything, because things can change. And also it depends on the view. Some people might just be like, this person is not even serious, because why are you coming to the embassy? Just like you're going to look for a job and you didn't go with your certificate. It's something like that. So just try as much as possible. It's just paper, it won't hurt you. So just try as much as possible to take all your documents. And also note that when you are going to the embassy, like you have to go with like this clear bag. Like you cannot go with all this laptop bag that is dark. It has to be clear so that everybody knows that it is paper that is inside. So that's that. So on the day of the interview, like you said you went, what other document? You said you went with marriage certificate, right?
Yeah, we did not with that.
Okay. So I know that there's this thing in Lagos, and I don't know, maybe, I mean, if it's private, you can let me know. I can cut it out of this video, but I know like people used to say that there are some courts that they don't accept the birth certificate. Do you think it's true?
Is it marriage certificate now?
I'm sorry, marriage certificate.
Well, I have never had any what's it called, story whereby the embassy rejected documents regarding marriage.
Okay.
The law of the country states that any marriage that is being what's it called, carried out in a registry approved by the law. So I think to me, actually, I used to live in Lagos. So, and Ikoyi is not far from.
Okay, because I know a lot of people used to say, is that only Ikoyi that they used to collect their certificate?
I've seen friends whereby they had their wedding at normal government registry, and they're in the US now.
Okay.
So it's just that you must be able to verify whatever information document you are bringing in. So, and that's what that matters most.
Okay. Okay. And is there like, do you think there is like a particular number of time that you should be married before you apply? Like for instance, like imagine like maybe me, for instance, let me just use myself as an example. I'm coming to the US and then I'm married in August and I'm going for an interview like a week later. Do you think it's tellable?
Well, I told my case, we got married in April. Yeah, April 7th to be precise, and we applied for our visa barely a month. So we got the dates barely a month. So I think the embassy would even prefer you to come with your spouse on that day of the interview, because it makes their job easier to assess both of you together. So I think they love to see that, and I don't think there is a particular limit, time frame that you must be married before you can go for the interview. But in as much you can prove that this is the status you are presenting, so it doesn't matter how long. I think the best thing is just to have a documentation to whatever information claim you're making.
Okay,
the
that makes
embassy.
sense. So now that we've talked about the document, I hope everybody is clear about document. So now that we talked about the document, so on the day of the interview, what happened? Like, where did you do your interview? I know you said you stay in Lagos, so I'm guessing that it might be Lagos, because Lagos people don't always like to go to Abuja, and it might also be Abuja anyhow. But yeah, what happened on the day of the interview? Like, what were some of the questions they asked you? And also, like, did they question you and your wife together, or they question you and they said you should go and stay somewhere, and they question your wife just to see maybe like the story with Tali? Like, what happened exactly?
Well, actually, on the day of the interview for me, I actually did mine in Lagos, because there's no point of me going to Abuja.
Yeah.
But at some point, the tension was like when you couldn't get dates easily, but I said, okay, fine, I'll stick to Lagos. But the thing is, on the day of the interview, you are going together as fine, it's two different applicants, but you are coming together as a group. So they will call both of you together, like one is coming. So the thing is that on the interview, we actually had our interview together.
Okay.
There was no instances whereby they had to separate us.
Okay.
You know, it's just two of us standing in front of the officer, the visa officer, and they will just he will, I think it was a guy who interviewed us. So he put the question to me first, and if he needs to ask the spouse or my wife, and he put the question to her. I think the questions are kind of connected. So it's just a response to whatever information you give, and if he sees the information on his system, he will ask her. So there was never a time whereby they had to separate us.
Okay. So something I'm going to say with that is like, if you are planning to go with your spouse, make sure that you are also filling your spouse in on the details of everything. Because look, for example, now, like imagine they're asking your spouse and your spouse doesn't even know what is happening. It doesn't make sense. That way, like they will feel like it's not like your stories are not connecting. So whatever it is you want to go and say at the embassy, make sure that your spouse also know what you are saying. Imagine they ask your spouse, what university is your husband going to?
In my own case, the man, we got married newly. So I think the question was that they asked my wife that when did we start having been together as when we started our relationship.
Wow.
And the question just was sudden, and my wife, I think I gave my response. They put to my wife, when did you guys get married? So we had to just be detailed enough when we met, the processing of introduction and getting married. I think two of you must be able to know your story, so you can't sideline or isolate any one of you. Two of you must just be together. And I will always say, just present a case that I think just say the truth.
Yeah, that's very important. And even if you can't remember details, because I know for some people that maybe like they dated for like 10 years, because I know some people that they've been dating for so long and you really cannot remember the day you met. Just come to a conclusion that, okay, this is the day we met. Like, it necessarily doesn't have to be point, because some people, like, why some people are very good with it, like, they know the exact day they started dating. If you ask some people, like, I started dating this guy May 15. Some people might just know months and they might not know dates.
The year will be cool. So
yeah,
the year,
period, like around May, maybe 2021 or thereabout, or 2023 or thereabout. But just make sure that like your stories are tallying, and whatever information that you know from the school as the guy, make sure that your wife also knows it, or maybe it's the wife that is bringing the husband. Make sure they also know it. I don't know about the kid, I'm not sure. Maybe that would be maybe it will be so strict about the kids knowing where their mother is going.
I think the kids home, it's they are kind of minor.
Yeah.
So I don't think they will be asked too many questions, except maybe there is a case whereby they needed to prove or get more details about particular information.
Yeah.
I don't think the children are going to be questioned the way an adult will be questioned.
Yeah. Okay. So like, can you like tell us like some of the questions they asked you on that day?
Well, actually, basically just for typical F1 questions. Okay, why this course? What were you doing before this time? What motivated you to pursue this course? And they asked me, well, like, where was I working before? Like, how many years have I spent with my my last
organization
employer? And they asked me, where was I working before? And what was I doing? And what was the organization doing? So I was able to give that information. And that of my wife, just asked her like, how long, when did we meet?
Okay.
So how long did we date? And they asked my wife what she was doing. My wife, she was a business person. And they asked her, okay, fine, how long will you be staying with me in the US?
Okay.
So, and she gave a response. I think we were so lucky that day. Even the consular said, okay, fine, she could spend as much time she want to spend with me, as much.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I have the validity to stay in the US. So practically, it's just be yourself and present your case very well. I don't say any reason why you should lie. And make sure whatever information you give on your test 160 matches the information you are giving on that day, because they check all those things. Yeah. They check.
Yeah. They check. So they collected both of your passport, and the visa was on both of your passports?
Yes, they had to know. We are coming with two separate I-20, my own and our own. So automatically we are presenting two applications. So they took our passports and we got it back after some days. So
wow, that makes sense. And then now, here you are. Of course, I didn't know they approved the visa, because here he is in the US. Especially if you think that I'm in Nigeria. Here he is in the US talking to you. So what is an advice that you will give people that are planning to apply with their spouse?
Gotta keep it loaded, go. Got that ass to go. Slapping the fiends, is that okay? Is it okay if I call you my private babe? I ain't no player, I just got a lot of faith. But let me tell you, I like you a lot of faith. I wanna start at the top and the bottom, babe. Now you want the shit with the red at the bottom, babe.